Yo, no nonsense, no how here again. Today with another review video. No frills, to the point and honest. This one's going to be on the GooLoo GTX300 portable power station, also known as a solar generator. I get quite a few videos coming up on these backup batteries. It seems there's a lot of companies making them, and kind of just trying a few of them out. So hopefully this video will help you decide whether this one's for you or not. I will drop a link to it down below. I just saw on Amazon they're about $299, but they do have a $75 off coupon, or I'll drop a link to their website as well. Now, you guys know I've used the GooLoo 4000 jump starter. This has been reliable and good, haven't had any issues, but these little backup batteries, they really do come in handy. So let's pop this open and just kind of take a look, fire it up. It's 300 watts output power and 299.52 watt hours. Not sure that's not just why that's not just 300. 2 hours, charge up to 80%. So it takes about 2 hours to go from 0 to 80%, and 4 input modes, so multiple charging options, which we will go over too. It's shown on the side of the box what you can charge. A drone, you can run a fan for 5 hours, a MacBook Air. Hopefully you guys can kind of read that. I know these GoPros don't always pick up much of this small font, but yeah, let's pop her on open, see what it's all about. So nice job packaging. I like that it's covered in a bag. That way, if it's sitting on your front porch, in the rain, it's not gonna get destroyed. Take the foam off, and let's look at, well, here we go. Boom. Take the plastic off, and here's a first look at it. Very lightweight. Of course, this one's only 300 watts. You guys, the last one was the Mango Power, and it was 3.5 kilowatts, over 100 pounds. So these come in all shapes and sizes. Nice silicone pads on the bottom, and build quality feels real solid on it. Got a light on the back, and let's see. To power it up, let's do one press. Yep, that turned it right on. And you guys probably can't see this display. So the button I press is just DC on off, and that fires up the DC ports. And if you want to turn the display on and off, you have this middle display. However, I believe it keeps it running. AC, turn that on right here, and your AC outlets are on. So on the DC side, you have one cigarette lighter style 12-volt outlet. You have a PD 60 watt, USB-C, 3 amp, smaller USB-C, and then you have two quick charge. Well, you have a quick charge USB standard, and then a 2.4 amp USB. Standard one, whatever you want to call those, and then two 12-volt 5 amp outlets right there. You got twin AC outlets, 300 watts, and they do have the prong for the ground opening, but there's nothing in there. All these don't have that at all. I've never seen one that does have a connection in there. And on the back side, you have a light. Let's go ahead and fire that. Oh wow, that's bright. A nice bright light on the back. It has 3 settings. It goes from regular, bright, to flashing. And then these are your inputs. So this is going to be the charger input, which I'll show you in a second, and then a solar input. Here's the placard on the back, in case you want to pause that and read it. Going back to the display, we got 5 bars on the battery. It's showing 82% it came with. I still have both my DC and AC on. I'll leave those on for a minute, but you see we have 0 watts input right now and 0 watts outputting. So that's good. And on the sides, you only have vents. I'm sure there's probably a fan in this, would be my guess. Back over here, let's see what else came in the boxes. So this is going to be a 12-volt plug, and you got USB-C, and in here this must be the charger. It's a variable input of 100 to 240 volts, and it outputs 24 volts at 3.75 amps or 90 watts. I'm going to go ahead and charge it up. Always a good idea to do that with these lithium-ion battery-powered devices. Fully charge it when you get it. You see we got a green light on here. Charger's disconnected. Usually that'll turn red. Let's plug her on in. And watching our input immediately jumped up to 46 watts, 50 watts. This is staying green. So I guess that always stays green, and you just go by the percentage on here to know when it's fully charged. And it has settled around 80 watts, showing 0.7 hours it's going to take till fully charged. So it's nice to have the timer on there. I assume this timer up here is for when we're putting a load. Say we're pulling 100 watts consistent, it's going to show us how long until this is fully discharged. I'm going to turn the AC/DC switches off, and I'll let you know how long that takes to get up to 100%. Oh, a few hours later and we are fully charged. I'll try to get you a more exact figure on that when we charge it again here in a bit. And there is an owner's manual in the bottom of the box I found. I'll flip through that at the end of the video, very end. So in case you want to pause and read some of that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just try out the DC side. I'll plug in USB-C in my phone into the fast charge port. I want to see how many watts that pushes. Yep, so fast charging on my phone, and that's settled at 14 watts, showing it would charge that for 21 hours. It does say fast charging on my phone. Let's try out the other USB-C and see what the wattage is on that one. So my phone just says charging now instead of fast charging, and it's only doing 8 watts output. All right, so that's the DC side. Let's see if I turn this off. And of course I plug it in, it shouldn't do anything. I don't think it auto turns on. Oh, it does. So it sensed the load and it automatically started charging, even though it doesn't say DC on, but it is charging my phone. So that's kind of cool, because with a lot of these battery packs, I've had them, when you charge a low load device like a phone, it will time out a lot of time. Let's try out the AC. So that has turned on the solenoid. In fact, I'm gonna leave that off for now and plug something in and see what happens. With this plugged in, turn the switch on, nothing happens. Actually just turned off the screen. Let's turn AC on and see if it, there it goes. All right, so that's on low, 224 watts. Oh, why did it just turn off though? I'm not sure why. Oh, that actually, E17, what does that mean? It's AC 110 input or short circuited, E17. Well, let's try turning it on a different way. Let's just reset that by pressing the button. I'm gonna turn the AC on first, and then turn this off, and then turn it back on. I should be able to hold that. That's 225 watts. This is a 300 watt unit. As you can see, it can't hold that. That's too much for it. Now I'm gonna try putting it on high, and let's see how quick that blows. 370. Is that high? It's not really going very fast. That's so weird. It actually went longer that time with 375 watts. Now, I'm sorry, the weird thing is the second time we were actually on low and it's pulling 360 watts. I'll turn it off so it doesn't trip again. Pushing this down is high speed, and listen to the fan's actually slower. And that's probably because the heating element is just way too much, but it's weird. It indicates less wattage and blows the breaker quicker. And plugged into the wall, this is low, pressing up, and high. So yeah, this is way overkill. You're not gonna run a full-size hairdryer through this unit. And I'm not saying it should be able to, you know, this is not rated for that. Let's go ahead and check the output voltage out of the AC on here, on the multimeter. We've got 115 volts. Excellent. I gotta go find something more suitable to load test this. Now, I just noticed something. I've left the AC on, hasn't turned off, and that's good, but the fan did come on, and I'm not even applying any load to it at all. So that could have been because we were putting big load on it before. But something to note is with that fan, you know, that is running the battery down. However, it's not showing any output because it's not built into that circuit. Just something to consider. The fan is wasting energy, you know. So I'll go ahead and plug this fan in. Let's see. Put that on high. And we got 103 watts showing runtime of 2.8 hours. What I'm gonna do now is set my timer and see if it actually goes for 2.8 hours or thereabout. You know, that's gonna be too much time. So let's hook up this drum fan as well. And now we are at 203 watts. And now with a third fan hooked up, we are up to 293 watts, so just about its capacity. It's showing 0.9 hours. I'll set the timer now, we're at 95%. 30 minutes in and we're down to 38%. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get that full hours, the 300 watt hours, but again, these numbers are considering the fan that's running internally, and it's a little bit warm coming off this side, but the whole unit itself is not warm at all. This is the inlet over here and warm air coming out. And at the 45-minute mark, we're down to 3%. You see our wattage went up a little bit. Let's go ahead and check the voltage. Yep, 117 volts. That's a good sign. Down to 2%, and it should be shutting off here soon. Not hot at all. And there it is. The fan's shut off. This fan is still going. Display had shut off too, but I just turned it back on. Fully juiced out. and turn the display off, and the fan shuts off. With it fully dead, let's see if we can still turn the DC on. Now, I don't like how the fan comes on. It's been sitting there for 5 minutes or so, and it's not warm at all. And the fan just comes on, but DC can't turn on, AC can't turn on. How about the light in the back? Yes, light still works, so that's nice. I just don't like that the fan's continually running. All right, charge options. You got 4. You can go solar. It says 3.5 hours. It does have the Anderson input, max of 120 watts. You have the 12-volt car charger plug. It says only 3 hours. That's the quickest option, 120 watts max. The wall outlet, 4 hours it's showing. We're about to put that to the test. And then the PD 60 watt port. So right here, it says 6 hours on USB-C. I'll leave that hooked up to just the wall block, showing 5.5 hours. I'll let you know right here how long it takes. And they didn't send me solar panels to try out, but you can get whatever solar panels you want as long as you have 12 to 30 volts is what it takes. It's got a built-in MPPT charger. So I think we're ready to close on this video. It seems to be a pretty decent unit, and it took a little bit longer than advertised to charge, but 5 hours is still respectable. Before we continue with the conclusion, there is something else I wanted to jam in. See, with the wall charger, we're doing the 80 watts. Took about 5 hours to go from 0 to 100%. I did notice though, if you use a USB-C super fast charger, so this is 60 watts, and plug that in, that bumps it up to 110 to 115 watts. I was just talking to GooLoo, and they said if you use their 100-watt charge block, which it doesn't come with this, but their USB-C charge block, you can cut it down to a total charge time of roughly 2 hours. So I'd imagine you can cut that 5 hours in half. And last quick note, I did want to put the 60-watt USB to the test. So you saw when I had it charged in my phone, it was only 15 watts, but if I plug it into something like this battery bank charging this, we do have it up to 54 watts output on the DC. I just wanted to demonstrate that because some phones can allow 60 watts charging. Mine apparently couldn't. I did want to place it next to these other units. This is the Rockpals 500 and then the EBL 1000. So really what it comes down to is how many watts do you need? Like this thing is nice. I can lift it with my pinky. It's only 8 pounds. And the EB 1000, which I didn't do a video on this yet, but that's over, I believe this is 20 pounds actually. It's a hefty unit, and so the more watts you go up, of course, the heavier they get. And size wise, you can see they're just about all the same size. The Rockpal's a little skinnier, but the EB1000, I mean, it's really not that much bigger than this. Now, what I would like to see in the future is like the GooLoo 4000 jump pack works amazing for jumping vehicles. It'd be nice if they made one of these that had that built into it, because then it would be really just the ultimate little carry around. So anyway, that concludes my review on the GooLoo GTX300. I will drop a link to it down below, and we'll see how it holds up over time. Again, they'll kind of be doing a bunch of testing on these over time. And here's a little Gus man hanging out in the kitchen. He just woke up from his nap. Jen's on the way home, and I'll make some dinner and call it a night. Thanks very much for tuning in to this video. I understand some of this stuff might come off a little bit boring, but most of these review videos are designed to help people out, on the search results if they're looking up a GTX 300 and they want to see what it's all about. Hopefully these few tests we ran will give you a good idea and help you make a decision. So we'll close this out with the looking through the owner's manual. And again, just thanks so much for tuning in. No nonsense, know-how. I'll see you in a future video. Just flip through these, so if you guys want to pause that, only going to go through the English section up to page 13. But there, here we go. Just kind of flip through this real quick. And I don't know, sometimes this is probably helpful, sometimes not, but in case I lose this, which I probably will, I could always revert back to the video. And sometimes these aren't available online with newer products. So before you guys go buy it, sometimes people like to look through. And I'm just talking to talk. Charging modes. Specs. There. Some Q&A. Troubleshooting. And a bunch of things to not do. And that wraps up the English section of the owner's manual. Thank you for choosing us.